Think of the typical recruitment process of a large modern company. It all starts with a job posting online that on average 1,000 individuals will see. Out of those 1,000, about 200 will decide whether the position interests them and whether they will begin the application process. Only 100 will eventually complete the application, and out of those 100, about 4 to 6 on average will be invited for an interview. Finally, 1 to 3 will be invited back for a final interview, until only one person will be offered the position. But let's rewind for a moment. How does a company go from 100 applicants to just 5 candidates? Well, if you ask recruiters directly, they will tell you that they spend up to 5 minutes reviewing each individual resume. However, a recent study from The Ladders concluded that this is an extreme exaggeration. The average recruiter spends a mere 6 seconds reviewing a resume. Now think of those 6 seconds. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do you think that in that time span someone will have a thorough understanding of a candidate? Think of the amount of information that the recruiter will necessarily have to skip in order to make that almost instant decision. Not only that, but according to a report by Behiring, only 17% of recruiters even bother to read cover letters. The remaining 83% don't read them, simply because it does not fit within the 6 seconds. So we have a system in place where recruiters require 2 documents that they won't read in depth in order to extract 6 applicants out of 100. What are the odds of those quickly rejected lies the perfect candidate? They're pretty high. This process has been going on for years already, and the system seems to be getting more and more outdated, as resumes and cover letters now seem to be inefficient tools in today's fast-paced world. What's more is that the exhausting process of recruiting is very expensive. Companies are constantly figuring out effective new ways to save both costs and time in the process. And just as digital innovation has disrupted so many traditional businesses and business models, it's pretty clear that technology is bound to eventually disrupt the human resource processes and activities. New startups have been trying to solve this problem, and their solutions will likely change the way companies handle their HR processes in the future. We therefore want to present 2 companies, ScoringLine, an innovative pre-selection software, and Cocoon, a Tinder-like job matching tool. ScoringLine is a talent acquisition and pre-screening software. The main problem it is trying to solve is to make the pre-selection more efficient and less resource costly for companies. How does it plan to do that? ScoringLine takes advantage of an innovative and collaborative tool that ultimately allows companies to capture the most skilled candidates out of a large pool of applicants. It promises to save companies endless amount of time on reading resumes, sorting CVs, and phone interviewing. How do companies benefit? CV sorting is replaced by an automatic score. Pre-screening phone calls are replaced by role-playing simulation. Customers save up to 50% of their time. The employer's brand is enhanced by using an innovative hiring process. The company's pool of candidates naturally grows by including people that may not have the usual profile, but do have the skills necessary to perform in the position. How do applicants benefit? Companies can forget about the long ATS forms and only ask applicants relevant questions. It gives an opportunity to reveal applicants' skills and motivation. The process is fair as every application is treated similarly. It guarantees equal opportunities. Cocoon, on the other hand, is a hiring platform that matches companies and job seekers based on skills and personality in a personal and low-barrier way. The app allows human resources to save a lot of time and effort by only showing them candidates that are relevant for their vacancies. Managers can then swipe through them and make matches in a Tinder style. Once the match is made, managers can see the candidate's LinkedIn, chat with them, and plan a meeting or coffee. Companies can swipe through a list of candidates' personality tailored to the skills relevant for each of their vacancies, while passionate candidates swipe through the companies better suited for them. After a match, the company can plan an interview with the candidate. What does this mean for companies? Well, it allows them to speed up the hiring process. Companies can contact applicants in a quicker and less formal way, whereas for candidates, it means they can easily apply to multiple jobs at once. It's also a more casual approach to the formal and traditional way. Now, applicants are more likely to apply to niche companies instead of well-known ones. The use of this digital solution reflects the long-tail concept, as applicants are now exposed to numerous small companies that were previously unknown to them. Although these innovative companies have several strengths, there are limitations. Their disruptive force is actually a double-edged sword. Companies have been using the same recruiting method for years and are now comfortable in using it. Thus, switching to a structurally different solution might be too bold of a step for some companies, especially those where HR managers aren't too familiar with digital processes and are strongly reluctant to change. Such a radical change would also imply changing job descriptions to some recruiters, which would mean companies would have to spend time and resources in training them differently. When it comes to Cocoon, the amount of information candidates can provide on their profile is often limited compared to the amount that can be found on traditional resumes. Additionally, certain applicants might not be able to show as much creativity as they would like to. This can be a problem, especially for positions such as designers. But although these technologies have their drawbacks, it's hard to imagine how they will not become the norm in the future. Companies using the new online recruitment process will be able to enjoy network value creation. As more and more job seekers apply through these platforms, companies will gradually have a larger database of candidate profiles as all applications are saved, and rejected applicants could still be called back at later stages of recruitment, saving great time in the process. As the value of the network increases with both the size of the database and quality of the criteria used to sort profiles, there's a strong incentive from both sides to put as much effort as possible. Therefore, no monitoring is required to keep aligned the incentives of the two companies. So, in conclusion, is the recruiting industry truly attractive? The market is very broad, as recruiting is an ongoing process that all companies will need to face at some point, but makes it a very attractive opportunity for startups to tap into. The human resource industry has yet to see a disruptive technology breaking through the everyday recruitment process. Startups like Cocoon and ScoringLine are both trying in their own way to disrupt the status quo of recruiting using new technologies and applications. As the investment costs to enter the market are relatively low compared to other technology-based markets, and as the barrier to entry is also low, the vulnerability of the market is increasing. What's more is that the market is yet to be locked down by a big player, making this market even more attractive for new entrants. As early adopters, ScoringLine and Cocoon will need to find a way to reduce the opportunities for new entrants by locking the market and quickly setting themselves apart from current as well as new competitors. If they play their cards right, their outlook is very promising.